The book of Amos, chapter 3, start at verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua hath not done it? Verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2. Point is verse 11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Haloyim La Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahushai Ba Hashem Rachak with a thumb. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying lesson. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, which appear like the other nations, but subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yawasap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson. Shalakia. With another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And basically, I brought out those precepts because of the fact, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it tells you that, we know the plots and plans of Shantai because, it was already pre-written. Although we often say that this is Esau's New World Order, or his NWO, it's actually Yahweh Shem Yahushua's New World Order, because it's ultimately a test, the test of faith of you men and women, that call yourselves in the truth, that say you believe. Everything was, it talks about, I believe in the book of Romans, about the things were written before time or written for our learning. So, that being said, when you go into that precept in the book of Salakia, the precept in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, when you go into the word devices, then this is the Greek word.
Strong's G 3540, Naima.
And it basically breaks down to the definition of mental perception, thought, evil purpose, that which thinks the mind, thoughts, or purposes. So it's his plots, it's his plans. This devil has a whole plan, a plot, imagination. He thought of, that's this system that they're trying to put in place. So, with this whole digital age and this restart and this fourth industrial revolution where everything will be automated, where everything will be AI driven. And people believe that this is going to make life better, but it talks about in the book of First Thessalonians, I believe. I know it's in one of the Thessalonians. I think it's First Thessalonians chapter 4. It talks about when people say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So, and that, that's this devil's MO, time in and time out. It tells you, and I believe in the book of Daniel's chapter 8, it talks about, how he said by peace he shall destroy many. A lot of people went and dealt with Vanessa to have some kind of semblance of life again because they can't get enough of this fucked up ass play. We was just breaking out of that camp, and only a man that's truly has a foundation in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I'll put it like that, because you're going to have a foundation in Yahweh Shem Yahushua with the times ahead, and you'll see who has one and who doesn't. A just man may fall, but he'll get back up. It tells you that in the scripture. A just man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. You know, and he could be possibly of the elect, because no matter what, it tells you in the scriptures that you can't pluck the elect out of the Most High's hands, or out of Yahweh Shai's hands, roughly paraphrased. Out of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh's hands. Salaki. Well, all that being said, I seen this article on news breaking. It was talking about the metaverse, so Spirit jumped on me. So Lord willingly is edifying. So, okay, they talking about how to buy virtual land in the metaverse. And if you're not familiar with it, the metaverse is a concept that they got this guy Mark Zuckerberg pushing. Now, although Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook is no longer Facebook, is Meta, he won't be the only, like, that won't be the only avenue to to actually access the metaverse, because you have Bill Gates and his Microsoft is actually creating metaverse as well. And when you take the time to think about it, if you've ever seen the movie Ready Player One, basically they lived in a metaverse. It's not coincidence that they've always said that Steven Spielberg was an insider and yada yada yada, because when you look back at some of the films Steven Spielberg made, they are quite, I ain't gonna say informative, but they just new world oriented, new world order oriented. I'll say it like that. And then he's an Amalekite, Steven Spielberg. So of course he juiced in to a degree. We all know that those Amalekites run Hollywood. So it says how to buy virtual land in the metaverse. The metaverse is coming whether we like it or not. And they making it known, no matter if you like it or not. It's just like with the smart TVs. Remember how they turned everything from analog to digital? Digital can't be tracked like that. Analogs can be. Like, analog are more physical. Digitals are not. It's like how you got the wireless headphones, You got the old headphones with the wire that you had to plug in. That was more physical. The digital was not. The wireless headphones, the signal was digital. So it says buying virtual land could be the best way to get involved from the outset. It says the idea of investing in a piece of land owned virtually would have sounded absurd a couple of years ago. Today, virtual real estate sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars of cold hard cash, though converted into cryptocurrency. So that I could stop based on that. They letting you know that the new wave of the future, the new thing is crypto, and that crypto is going to lead to the MOTB, because everything will be done digitally. A lot of jobs about to be eliminated because, again, you got this AI, this artificial intelligence that's basically powering, so much different stuff. Tesla cars are AI driven to a degree. And again, like I said, I was using the analogy of the smart TV and the old, basically the analog TV, and how they just switched it over, and you either had to get a digital, because nobody uses the analog TVs anymore. I think you could like when you auto program, or when you program your TV, you could still do analog or digital, but for the most part, you had to, because of the signal, in order for you to actually be able to use or watch TV, you had to get a smart TV. So everybody, you might got that old big box TV in the corner somewhere, but for the most part, you had to get a digital TV. And that's just like what they was talking about, those Oculus eyeglasses to use for the metaverse. Right now they're kind of expensive, but that's how things work. At first they start off expensive until they eventually get so common that they're cheap. That's like when for the PlayStations, that goes for everything else. Besides the fact, I heard a brother bring out, or I read somewhere, I can't recall, how basically Elon Musk's Tesla, the Neuralink, that device that they want to implant inside your brain, that basically has a feature that you're going to be able to like connect to the metaverse. So we're going to see how that going to go. And that just show you how ungod-like this place is, because you have so many different organizations, from the Christian transhumanist movement or association to, the Catholic transhumanist association to the what the fuck is they called? Not Seventh Day Adventists, but the Mormon transhuman association. All these supposedly different Christian organizations that are supposed to believe in the Most High God, yet still they all are for all this transhumanism. So do they really believe in the Most High God, or do they believe in man? It tells you in the scriptures, book of Jeremiah chapter 17, cursed is the man that trusteth in man. And later in that chapter it says, blessed is the man that trusteth in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, as the metaverse looms upon us, investors and crypto enthusiasts are going all in, and buying virtual real estate is the next big thing after digital artwork. What is the metaverse? Simply put, the metaverse is the next generation of the internet. It's hard to describe. So basically, what they plan to do is link you to the internet. That's why, like I said, you're gonna be able to buy clothes and this fucking thing. And this is the achievement of Esau. This is what Esau has to bring to the world. I mean, Jake had slaves, made cotton looms and all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just beneficial. You got a guy named Moses. I forgot his last name, but, of course he's an Israelite, so-called black man. And he created a machine that can actually pull the water out of the air to give people that can't access water access to fucking water. Salakia for that, for my Swahili. And yet still Esau damages his machine, just taking this man through all kind of holy hell on something that will benefit the whole planet. Because they don't want, they want to sell their bottled fucking plastic bottled water. That's just like with the they could have been made an electric car. But they didn't know how to tax it, so that's why they stopped. You could have made all kind of, the oil that's in the earth is made to basically, it's like the lifeblood of the earth. But Esau uses it to run these automobiles. They could have been made cars that can run on vegetable oil and water and all kinds of different things. And every man that came up with those different inventions basically disappeared, because it's all about money to Esau. And that's how is another way, if you have a spiritual eye, to recognize who is Esau. Esau's a carnal man. So, of course, he will want all the money. That's why you got a small percentage of the planet, the world's elite, that want to heap all the riches and wealth onto themselves while the rest of the world starves. This is how fucking carnal this devil is. Shalakia. Simply put, the metaverse is the next generation of the internet. It's hard to describe it accurately since there is no universally accepted definition. The term was first coined in The Snow Crash, a novel by Neil Stephenson. I think I heard of this guy too. Released in 1992, that author. And in the book, the metaverse was simply a virtual world inhabited by real world individuals who might not be in the same physical space as others around them. Now, I think they say a Second Life, that was something that was around for a while, just like the internet had been around since the 80s for those that were familiar with it, The concept was further elaborated upon in Ready Player. That's the spirit, because I just named this movie. The concept was further elaborated upon in Ready Player One, a fantastic novel that was turned into a blockbuster film. Think of the metaverse as a network of 3D stimulated worlds connected using virtual and augmented reality technologies. And that's what basically this is, augmented reality. So you have actual reality. I'm in a home right now and I'm making this video. This is actual reality. But then you have augmented reality where you'll go into, they got certain video games, they call them first person shooters and whatnot. Like basically, and when you take time to think about it, it's like, to me, I could be wrong, but it's like, it seemed to me like this was the devil's plan from the get-go. Created all these different video games and platforms, and you're on them. So if you've ever seen that movie Ready Player One, and that's the spirit, because I just did a video, speaking on this at camp. Literally, that movie Ready Player One and reality they were poor living in the slums. I mean, they didn't even live in projects. They lived in like little shacks. Like if you like in a third world country, and this was your beloved America. And if you paid attention to what was going on in the world in the movie, and I don't remember all that in the movie, so that's how crazy it is. I remember the movie, but I don't remember all that. But basically, in real time in the real world, it was poverty, and people were basically having protests, and it was just like a lot of stuff going on. But to escape all that, everybody ran into the metaverse. And the metaverse, of course, was, oh, you could have fun with your friends. You had to have a power source, of course. So, dude, he basically, like, they stayed in the little shanty shack, but he had his equipment to access the metaverse in another little area. I forgot how. I just remember he had to go somewhere else sometimes to link up to the metaverse. It was kind of like the Matrix. And then, he would meet his friends in there, and it was like if you could figure out certain things, not to spoil the movie, I'm just say this much. The creator of this universe, he is certain, like what's they call them, Easter eggs and whatnot inside the game. And if you could find these things, you could become like wealthy or whatnot. So, and then, he was the antagonist. He was a poor guy. That it was a person that worked for the system that actually helped to monitor that metaverse. And she ended up turning turncoat and helping him. But long story short, he ended up becoming a rags to riches Cinderella story, becoming, wealthy because of the fact of he figured out everything that the creator put inside the metaverse. And, a Cinderella story ending for all you peon. When in actuality, what kind of life is that? They telling you they don't want you to be able to fly an actual airplane because you're using too much carbon. Well, not you're using too much carbon, you're emitting too much carbon. But the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Most High Power, He created, everything is in balance with the Most High God, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We emit carbon, yes, that's true. But we also take in oxygen. Now, the trees actually and plants actually take our carbon and filter everything, and then they give off oxygen. So you see how that's like a symbiotic, equilibrium. It's just this fucking devil, because he's so greedy, he destroys and pulls up all the plants and whatnot. He uses for such things as paper and whatnot. That's why, in the ancient days, they didn't have, notebook paper and all this so stupid ass kind of paper. What did they have? They had scrolls. So a lot of people think that we're more advanced nowadays, but in actuality, we not. In actuality, we are a lot more stupid and dumbed down. A person that was actually. That's why you had like certain men, especially like certain prophets. I would just say it like that, that actually knew the scriptures the way they knew them. When you go into some of the books of wisdom in the Bible and read them, and you look at what was written thousands of years ago and then how they could pertain to today, that's true wisdom. A nigga can't even remember some telephone numbers because he putting everything inside his fucking phone. Your phone is your God. So I'm not gonna read anymore. Oh yeah, I'll read this part though. It says, now if you're interested in buying virtual land in the metaverse, here's how to go about it. It says get a digital crypto wallet. First step. The first step is to get a digital crypto wallet. You can't buy virtual land using fiat money. And if you're not familiar with fiat money, that's the green money that you put in your pocket. Hope you learned something on that one. That's not real money. Fiat money is not real money. And they about to show you how much they about to show you, because basically these elite bankers that rule the world, they don't want you to own any real wealth. What did Klaus Schwab say? He said, in the new world, you're not going to own nothing and be happy. He made a public statement like that. He said, you ain't going to own nothing but be happy. Like you a fucking slave. and you got people just da da da. That's just like make me think of the TED talk that Bill Gates did and said basically we got to exterminate like 80 to 90,000 people. 80 to 90% of the population. And he said, if we do a good job with vaccines and shit, and you had these stupid ass people that was sitting in there listening. When they say that there's too many people on the planet emitting too much carbon, what do you think their idea of getting rid of these people is? Now, some people are going to be put in a position where they literally get to stay at the house. So if you want to travel, what you going to do? You're going to travel through the metaverse. And I know it sounds far-fetched, but no, that's the truth of it. That's why I did a video on this myself. With the Walmart, they experience in metaverse, you'll go virtually and literally do your shopping, and then all your things that you bought, your products will arrive at your doorstep. Like how that movie The Fifth Element was. You know, that's one thing about this devil. You know, but it's also what it's a part of witchcraft. You got to lightweight you know, basically I don't know why that concept is, but they got to kind of let you know or show you to a degree. You know, they showed that in that movie Skeleton Key. This devil literally puts things, and you know, sometimes I tend to think, well, I mean, it ain't tend to think it is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua because, you know, he controls both sides. Yeah. The Most High God literally, you know, and then that's them playing God too, you know what I mean? It's like they trying to prophesy on the left hand side, so they put certain things in movies and whatnot. But this concept of the New World Order is nothing new. This goes all the way back to shit. This movie's called like the movie The Running Man. That movie go back to like the 70s. Not The Running Man. That's with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Logan's Run. They go back to the 70s, and they show you they had the chip. After a certain amount of time, basically you had to die. And it was called Logan's Run because he used to hunt people that would try to run. But then when it was his time, like most people do, he ran. Like, what the fuck? So, I mean, I'm going to leave it at that. I might say this article is talking about a MetaMask and all this. And then it's going to NFTs, connect your wallet. So, the first step is to actually, you know, get a digital wallet. You can't buy virtual land using fiat money, so you need first to get a wallet to buy and store your cryptocurrency. Ideally, the wallet you choose should integrate into your browser. So I'm gonna end it right there because it's talking about this article anyway. It's talking about you got to get a digital wallet, meaning you got to go into digital money. I ain't mean to make this that long either. Bear with me for a second. And this is out of RT News. It says Feds explores future of digital dollar. U.S. Central Bank is weighing pros and cons of digital currency. Now the thing is this, what's funny, and I like to say, I don't know why they do this as well. I mean, you know, maybe it's to fuck with the mind. You know, you got to understand. It tells you in the scriptures, I believe, in the book of Psalms, chapter 64, about Esau. Edom has basically did a digit. I mean, I said a digital. Did a diligent search. So you know, this man has searched out a lot of things. That's why a lot of you Jakes believe this man is a god upon himself. And yeah, he does have power, but he's not the most high power. You know, but Esau really don't know shit. That's all illusion. You know what I mean? If Esau knew someone, you thinking Esau Edom actually went to the moon? He never went to the moon. That came out. He can't even go to the depths of the sea. So how the fuck he gonna go to the moon? I was locked up, but I saw them with Richard Branson talking about with that Virgin Mobile and basically them trying to fly to outer space. Him, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. They only can reach a certain point in the atmosphere. They, you know, it's something called the Van Allen belt. You can go look that up, and it's a belt of radiation. So they can't get past that barrier, and it tells you in the Most High God created certain things, you know, bounds that they cannot pass. I believe that's either, I think that's in Job chapter 5. It's either Job 5 or Job 20. Salakia, it says a central bank digital currency should complement rather than replace current forms of money and methods for providing financial services. So I don't know if he's just shooting from the hip or what. That's just like with this whole vaccine mandate. They tried to push it. It was struck down by the Supreme Court. But yet still you got certain employers that's still pushing it. So I don't know how that's gonna work. All I know is scriptures say that this devil gonna come down with great wrath. Because his time is short. And you can see his time is short. Shit, you got Russia, Ukraine, and America all talking about, because if Russia invades Ukraine, America say they gonna help. That's why you got these soldiers ready. And that's World War III. And that's all prophesied in the scriptures. It says the Federal Reserve Board of Governors said in a study released on Thursday, which it claimed was the first step in a public discussion about a digital dollar. But you got to understand, that's why we call this fucking man the devil, because devil simply means deceiver. When you go into the CARES Act, when they first started printing all this money, as far as for the stimulus packages and whatnot, the CARES Act, it was a provision in there about a digital dollar. And I got a whole nother article that I'm gonna bring out, because at the end of the day, even that guy Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, that guy, he literally just did an article or made a statement about with all this money printing, basically is gonna be the fall of or is gonna basically collapse the economy. And they want to collapse the economy because while they're sitting up there saying, well, it's supposed to complement and you can have two forms of currency, that's not going to be the case. You got people that use credit cards more than they use cash. Now, you got some people that prefer cash because they remember the Great Recession. You got, people from older generations, but yet still, for the most part, if this system crashes, you know, because when you go into fiat currencies and if you go into history, every fiat currency has failed. And America uses a fiat currency. It says clocking in at just 40 pages, including appendices and footnotes. The study examines the pros and cons of CBDC and solicits feedback from the public and the authority. And that's just all, mind fuck games, because at the end of the day, when have they really they ain't even giving a fuck if the public want to go deal with Vanessa. You got people sitting up there really believing this shit. So, I mean, I'm not even about to read this. This is out of RT. If you want to like to read it, you can get it off of RT. It says Fed explores future of digital dollar. Because at the end of the day, if you research this, you'll find out that they already got things in there about a digital dollar. That's why you got the Metaverse. That's why I just read the first article. You got to switch it to cryptocurrency, which is a digital dollar. You know what I mean? So just showing you the future. So with that being said, I'm going to end it with this scripture out of the book of, because we living in them times. We living in them times of prophecy being fulfilled. And a major prophecy that we waiting on is this MOTB. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Verse 16. Because with the system that he put in place, you got to prove with these vaccination cards. What people don't even realize, you got in certain places literally around the world, in Sweden, in Switzerland, people already got these chips. And basically they said instead of keeping a vaccine passport, you going to just put your information on a chip. I forgot what country was that. They was talking about rolling out basically the chip, I think in the UK in July. This is book of, so with that system in place, you can't move around. They already talk about if you can't prove that you dealt with Vanessa, that you shouldn't be able to go to the grocery store. That dude Jimmy Kimmel literally said if you didn't got this shit, you shouldn't even be able to like go buy food. Fuck you. You shouldn't even be able to live. This is how, and you got these celebrities pushing this shit. So at the end of the day, they setting up a system. If you don't have certain things, you will not be able to partake in it. And that's why we know the MOTB is a physical thing. When you go into the word mark, this word mark in Revelation 16, it means charagma in the Greek. And basically it means an incision. But when you go back to the root word charax, it's like a palisade. It's like a stake. Like, when you put a stake in the ground. This is Revelation 13 and verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So it meaning rich and poor, small and great. So if you nobody in the society, if you LeBron James, if you got money or if you don't, if you poor, if you free out here walking around, because you're not really free, but you have the illusion of freedom. You can't go to the store right now if you want. Those that's locked up can't. Shit, those is locked up. I was recently locked up. You can't even get your you supposed to have rights as even incarcerated. They not even giving you your rights while you locked up. Talk about red zone. Like, what the fuck is that? That's not my fault you ain't got enough people to come and fucking work the prison. So you go fuck my rights over. And that's what amazes me about most COs. You catch one good one here and there, and that's how you gonna catch when you catch these people when the world literally flips upside down. You're gonna have more. It's more wicked people than it is righteous. And you about to see that. So it says to receive a mark of that charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. It don't necessarily matter where you get it. If you get it, that's gonna be your ass. So if you're a so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, you are Israelite, come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your heritage, or you will be destroyed. It talks about those that are joined unto this devil shall be thrust through in the book of Isaiah. Everybody that's going to try to hold on to this system and Esau's way of life is going to be destroyed. So I'm going to end the lesson there. Lord willingly, it's edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak, Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aquat, the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, in the land of the Salakia, in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. I love you, Daddy. To you, I say shalom. Until next time, till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom. Mawat lababah, shalom.